second year of the reign of Artaxerxes, the great king, Mordecai had a dream. There was noise and confusion, thunder and earthquake, and tumult upon the earth. And behold, two great dragons came forth, both ready to fight. At their cry, every nation was prepared for war against the righteous nation. Then the righteous cried to God, and from a small spring came a great river. Light arose. And the humble were exalted. And Mordecai awoke, remembering what God had determined to do.
Long before anyone spoke my name, the world belonged to a king I had never seen. Ahasuerus, the ruler of 127 provinces, a man whose throne cast a shadow from India to Ethiopia. In Shushan, his palace rose like a mountain of stone, every step measured, every voice controlled, every life beneath him small. In the third year of his reign, he summoned the power of Persia and Media, princes, nobles, men who carried judgment in their eyes. For 180 days, he showed them the riches of his kingdom and the weight of his glory. That is the world I was born into, a world where crowns were heavy, and the cost of disobedience was heavier still. When those days were completed, the king held a feast for all the people present in Shushan, from the greatest to the least. Wine flowed freely. No one was compelled. Every man did as he pleased. And Queen Vashti held a feast of her own. On the seventh day, when the king's heart was merry with wine.
Send for the queen!
He sent for her. And in that silence, the empire waited.
Your request is denied. Now go.
In that single refusal, something shifted in the palace of Ahasuerus. A woman's no became a threat to an empire built on obedience. The king's anger did not erupt. It burned. The king turned to those who interpreted power, the men who understood how desire becomes law. For a refusal in a palace is never private. The moment she said no, the whole empire leaned in to listen. So he called the 7 princes of Persia and Media, the only men permitted to meet his eyes. They were the architects of decree, masters of consequence. A single word from their lips could raise a life, or erase it. And that day, they gathered not to weigh a crime, but to measure the strength of a woman's dignity.
What is to be done to the queen who refused the command of her lord?
Memucan was the first to rise. He saw an opportunity, not to protect the king, but to strengthen the fears of all men listening.
Your Majesty, this is not a matter concerning the Queen alone.
By tomorrow, her refusal will reach every household. Women will hear it and remember. And when that story spreads, respect will fracture. Contempt will spread, and order will fail. Therefore, if it pleases the king, let a royal decree be issued, strong, unalterable, saying that Vashti be forbidden from the king's presence. And let her crown be given to another, one more worthy.
So it shall be done.
A crown was removed, not because it was undeserved, but because it could not be controlled. Yet from that moment, it was meant for me.